Welcome, champions. Today, I want you to open your heart and mind, because what you are about to learn is not just another lesson. This is not just another video with quick tips and tricks. What I am about to share with you can truly transform your life. Think about this carefully. In every room you enter, in every conversation you have, in every opportunity that comes your way, what is the one skill that decides how people see you? How much respect you command, and how far you rise? It is not your degree. It is not the number of certificates you've collected. It is not your bank balance or your looks. It is your ability to communicate with power. Have you noticed? People who speak well, with clarity, confidence, and charm, walk away with better jobs, higher salaries, deeper relationships, and stronger networks. They don't just speak, they inspire. They don't just talk, they move people. Meanwhile, equally talented, hardworking, or even smarter people often get left behind, simply because their voice does not carry the same weight. That is the brutal truth of life. But here's the good news. Communication is not a gift you are born with. It is not reserved for a chosen few. Communication is a skill, and like every skill, it can be learned, practiced, and mastered. That is why you are here today. Because you have the courage to say, I want to rise higher. I want to be respected. I want to be unforgettable when I speak. And I promise you, if you stay with me through this journey, and if you practice what I share, you will never be the same again. Your career, your relationships, your confidence, everything will change. So, let's begin. Let's build the kind of communication that doesn't just fill silence with words, but fills people with energy, clarity, and inspiration. Tip 1. Say without saying. Let me begin with something powerful, something that very few people realize. You are speaking even when you are not speaking. Yes, before your first word comes out, you are already communicating. And guess how long it takes for people to judge you? Just 7 seconds. 7 seconds, and 70% of the impression is already made. Think about it. When you walk into a room, people don't know your history, your qualifications, your dreams, or your struggles. All they see is your energy. Your body speaks. Your posture speaks. Your eyes speak. Your smile speaks. Your presence speaks. And the truth is, it speaks louder than your words. Now imagine two people waiting for a job interview. Both are equally qualified, equally skilled. One sits slouched, shoulders dropped, eyes glued to the phone, looking bored. The other sits upright, shoulders relaxed, a calm smile on their face, eyes bright with quiet confidence. Who do you think the interviewer will want to meet first? Who do you think already has an advantage, even before a single question is asked? The second candidate. Always the second. Because confidence is not just spoken, it is felt. So here's your first lesson. Walk into every room like you belong there. Even if you feel nervous inside, walk tall, walk strong, and let your energy speak before your lips do. Smile. Not a fake, forced smile, but a gentle, warm one. Keep your back straight. Make eye contact. Avoid fidgeting. And remember, people feel you before they hear you. Master this, and you win half the battle before you even say hello. Tip 2. Storytelling. The language of leaders. Let me tell you a secret. Facts tell, but stories sell. If you want to be remembered, if you want your words to live inside someone's mind long after the conversation is over, you must master the art of storytelling. Human beings are wired for stories. Since the dawn of time, our ancestors sat around campfires not to read numbers or data, but to share stories. Stories of bravery, of lessons learned, of wisdom passed down. And those stories shaped entire civilizations. The same rule applies today. When you tell someone a fact, they might nod politely. But when you tell them a story, they lean in. Their imagination lights up. Their emotions wake up. They see themselves in your words. Let me give you 2 ways of saying the same thing. Option 1. Hard work is important. Option 2. There was once a boy named Sam. He grew up in a small village with no electricity, no internet, not even proper books. Every night he would sit under a flickering streetlight to study, while people laughed at him. But 10 years later, Sam became a doctor and saved the lives of the very same people who once mocked him. Now tell me, which one will people remember longer? The dry statement or the story of Sam? Stories move hearts. Facts are forgotten. And here's the beauty. You don't have to be a writer or a poet to tell stories. You just need to speak from experience. Share small examples from your own life. Share things you've seen, heard, or learned. It could be as simple as a childhood memory, a challenge you faced, or even something you saw on the street today. The key is this: make it real. Add a little struggle, a little emotion, and a little victory. Paint a picture in the listener's mind, because when you speak in stories, you don't just speak to people's ears, you speak to their hearts. And once you touch the heart, you become unforgettable. Tip 3. Empathy, the bridge of connection. Let me ask you something. What makes a conversation truly powerful? Is it big words? Is it fancy vocabulary? Is it endless talking? No. The real magic of communication lies in connection. And the strongest bridge to connection is empathy. Empathy is the ability to feel what others feel. To listen not only with your ears, but with your heart. To put yourself in someone else's shoes and say, I understand you. I hear you. You are not alone. Most people fail at this. They listen only to reply, not to understand. Someone shares a problem, and they jump in with quick fixes, careless advice, or worse, they dismiss it. Imagine this. You're sharing your stress at work with a friend. You're drained. You're low. You just want to be heard. One friend interrupts. "Oh, don't worry, it's nothing. Forget it. You'll be fine." How do you feel? Empty, unseen, ignored. Now imagine another friend. They listen carefully, their eyes on you, their body present. They nod, and then they say, "I can see how tough this must be for you. It's not easy to feel like that. You're not alone. I'm here if you need me." How do you feel now? Safe, valued, closer to them than ever before. That is the power of empathy. In communication, empathy turns ordinary conversations into extraordinary bonds. It makes people trust you. It makes people respect you. It makes people open their hearts to you. And once their heart is open, your words can plant seeds that last forever. So here's the challenge. Next time someone speaks, don't rush to reply. Don't prepare your answer while they're talking. Just listen. Truly, deeply listen. Acknowledge their feelings. You don't always need to solve their problems. Sometimes the greatest solution is simply saying, "I hear you. I understand." Because words may impress, but empathy wins hearts. Tip 4. The sweetest sound. A person's name. Dale Carnegie, one of the greatest teachers of communication, once said, "A person's name is to that person the sweetest sound in any language." And he was right. Think about it. Your name is not just a word. It carries your identity, your history, your memories, your pride. When someone says your name warmly, it's not your ears that hear it, it's your soul. Picture this. You walk into a busy cafe. Music playing, people chatting, the smell of coffee everywhere. You place your order. Caramel macchiato. Name's Daniel. A few minutes later, in the middle of the crowd, the barista looks up and calls, "Caramel macchiato for Daniel. Have an awesome day, Daniel." In that moment, you smile. You feel noticed. You feel remembered. You feel like more than just another order number. That's the hidden magic of names. In business, in friendships, in interviews, in leadership. When you use someone's name with respect and sincerity, you instantly create connection. You make the person feel valued. You make them feel seen. And in a world where everyone is fighting for attention, making someone feel seen is the greatest gift you can give. So here's your action. Don't just let names slip by. Remember them. Use them naturally. Not too much, not too forced. Just enough to remind the other person, "I see you. You matter." Because in the music of conversation, the sweetest note is someone's name. Tip 5. Emotional intelligence. Respond, don't react. Words are powerful. They can build bridges, or they can burn them. And the difference depends on one skill: emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the art of mastering your own emotions and understanding the emotions of others. It's not about never feeling angry, sad, or frustrated. It's about choosing how you respond to those emotions. The difference is simple. Reacting is automatic. Responding is powerful. Imagine this. You're in a meeting. You share your idea. Someone criticizes it in front of everyone. If you react, you get defensive. You snap back. Your face turns red. The room feels tense. People remember your anger, not your idea. But if you respond, you pause. You take a breath. You say, "Thank you for the feedback. Let's explore how we can improve this together." Now what happens? You look calm. You look strong. You gain respect. Instead of walls, you build bridges. The same applies in personal life. Imagine your partner says something hurtful during an argument. If you react, you lash out. You hurt them back. The fight grows bigger, but if you respond, you pause. You say, "I'm hurt right now. Let's talk when we both feel calmer." Now you're protecting the relationship instead of destroying it. This is emotional intelligence. It is not weakness. It is strength. It is maturity. It is wisdom. So here's your practice. Before you reply in anger, pause. Even 3 seconds of silence can save you 3 years of regret. Ask yourself, what response will serve me better? Anger or calmness? Great leaders, great speakers, great communicators, they all master this. They stay centered in the storm. They speak with control. They choose words that heal, not harm. And when you do that, you don't just speak to people's ears. You speak to their respect. Tip 6. The echoing technique, showing you truly listen. Have you ever spoken to someone and felt like they weren't really listening? They nod, they smile, but deep down you know their mind is somewhere else. It feels empty, doesn't it? Now imagine the opposite. Imagine someone repeats a piece of what you just said, not mechanically, but warmly. You feel understood. You feel invited to open up more. That, my friend, is the echoing technique. Echoing is the art of repeating a small part of what someone has said to show you are truly listening. It's simple, but incredibly powerful. Let's see it in action. Your friend says, "I've been so stressed at work lately." You reply, "Stressed at work?" Your tone is warm, curious, not robotic. What happens next? They continue. "Yes, my manager keeps giving me impossible deadlines." The conversation deepens. They feel safe to share more. Another example. Your colleague says, "I finally finished the project after 3 long months." You say, 3 months? That sounds intense." They smile and reply, "Yes, it was exhausting, but I learned so much." With one simple echo, you showed respect. You showed presence. You showed that their words matter. This works everywhere, in friendships, in sales, in negotiations, even in conflict. People open up to those who make them feel heard. Important. Note, don't echo every word. That would feel fake. Echo only the key emotions or facts. Do it naturally. Do it warmly. Remember this. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Echoing is proof that you care. And when people feel heard, they never forget you. Tip 7. Voice modulation. The music of words are powerful, yes. But words delivered in a flat, lifeless tone lose all their magic. Your voice is your music. It is the instrument that makes your words come alive. And like every great musician, you must learn how to play it. Voice modulation means controlling your pitch, pace, and pauses. It's the difference between sounding dull and sounding dynamic. Let's break it down. Pitch. Speak in the same pitch all the time and you sound robotic. Vary your pitch and you bring color. Go higher when excited. Go lower when serious. And then we won the competition. Higher pitch, excitement. But it wasn't easy. There were nights we almost gave up. Lower pitch, seriousness. Pace. Speak too fast and people feel rushed. Speak too slow and people feel bored. Control your speed depending on your message. Fast when telling an exciting moment. Slow when sharing something emotional. Pauses. Ah, the silent power. A pause after an important point makes people absorb your words. It creates suspense. It makes your message feel heavier. Example. Sometimes the smallest decision changes your entire life. Think about the greatest speakers: Martin Luther King Jr., Steve Jobs, Barack Obama. They don't just speak, they sing with their voice. Their pitch rises and falls. Their pace speeds and slows. Their pauses create power. You can do this too. Record yourself. Practice. Play with your voice. Because when your voice carries music, your words will carry magic. Tip 8. The broken record technique. Calm. Power life is full of people who push. They pressure you, argue with you, try to break your boundaries. They don't take no for an answer. In those moments, many people either give up or explode. They either surrender or shout. But there's a smarter way. It's called the broken record technique. Here's how it works. You calmly repeat your main point again and again, without anger, without sarcasm, without argument, until the other person understands. Like an old record that keeps playing. The same line. Example, at a party, someone insists you drink alcohol. Them. Come on, just one drink. You. No thanks, I'm not drinking tonight. Them. Oh, don't be boring. You. No thanks, I'm not drinking tonight. Them. Just a little won't hurt. You. No thanks, I'm not drinking. Tonight. What happens? After 2 or 3 tries, they stop. Why? Because you didn't fight, you didn't explain, you didn't bend. You stayed calm. You stood your ground. This technique works in business too. Suppose a client demands extra work without extra payment. You calmly repeat, "We'd love to help, but that would require an additional fee." No anger, no endless justification, just repetition. It may sound simple, but it's powerful, because calm repetition shows strength. It shows boundaries, and it forces people to respect you. Remember, you don't need to shout to be strong. You don't need to argue to win. Sometimes the softest voice carries the strongest message. Tip 9. Humor, the secret door to hearts. Let me tell you something powerful. People may forget what you said, they may forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. And one of the fastest ways to make people feel good around you is through humor. Now, I'm not talking about being a clown. I'm not talking about cracking endless jokes. True humor is not about making fun of others. It's about bringing lightness into the room. It's about making people smile. It's about reminding them that conversations don't always have to be heavy and serious. Why is humor powerful? Because humor breaks tension. Humor melts walls. Humor makes people open up. Humor says, "I'm not above you, I'm with you." Think about a job interview. The interviewer asks, "Tell us about a time you made a mistake." Most people panic. They freeze. They answer nervously. But imagine you smile and say, "Only one mistake, because I've got a whole collection." The room laughs. The tension breaks. And now, when you give your real answer, they listen more openly. Think about negotiations. The room is stiff. Everyone looks serious. You notice every single person has a black coffee in front of them. You smile and say, "Looks like we're also negotiating caffeine rights today." People laugh. The air softens. Now real discussion can begin. Think about speeches. You're on stage. Instead of starting stiffly, you smile and say, they say teamwork makes the dream work, unless the dream is to take a nap. In that case, I prefer working alone. The crowd laughs. They connect. And now when you move into your serious points, they're with you. This is the secret. Humor creates connection. Connection creates trust. Trust creates influence. So don't be afraid to be light, to be human, to smile at yourself. Humor is not about perfection. It's about presence. And when you make people laugh, you don't just enter their minds, you enter their hearts. Tip 10. Vulnerability. The courage to be real. We come to the most powerful, the most misunderstood, and the most transformative tip of them all: vulnerability. Many people believe vulnerability is weakness. They think, if I show my flaws, people will laugh. If I admit my struggles, people will lose respect. If I'm not perfect, I'll look weak. But here's the truth. Vulnerability is not weakness. Vulnerability is courage. Vulnerability is strength. Vulnerability is the bridge that connects two hearts. Because here's a fact. Nobody connects with perfection. Perfection feels distant, cold, unreachable. But honesty feels human. Honesty feels real. Honesty says, I'm not perfect. I've fallen, I've struggled, but I've learned. And if I can rise, so can you. Think about it. If I stood here and said, my life has always been easy. I've never failed. Everything is amazing. Would you admire me? Maybe for 5 minutes? But would you connect with me? No. You'd feel a wall. But if I told you, There was a time I felt broken, a time I woke up every morning and felt useless, a time I looked at my life and thought, is this really all there is? But I didn't stop. Step by step, I rebuilt myself, and that's why I'm standing here today. Now what happens? You lean in, you see yourself in my struggle, you feel hope, you think, if he can rise, I can rise too. That is vulnerability. And the most beautiful part? People don't lose respect for you when you are vulnerable. They gain respect. Because it takes a strong person to stand on stage in front of the world and say, I am not perfect, but I am real. So remember this. Walls keep people out. Vulnerability invites people in. When you dare to be vulnerable, you don't just speak to people's minds, you touch their souls. And touching souls is what makes communication unforgettable. The grand conclusion: speak with your heart. My friends, we have traveled through 10 powerful steps, 10 secrets that can transform your communication, and through it, transform your life. We began with the truth that you are speaking even when you are silent, that your body, your eyes, your energy already tell your story. We learned the art of storytelling, the language of leaders, the way to capture hearts and stay in memory forever. We discovered empathy, the bridge of connection, the reason people trust you. We spoke of the sweetest sound, someone's name, the simplest but most magical tool of influence. We unlocked emotional intelligence, the power to respond, not react. We mastered echoing, the technique that proves you truly listen. We practiced voice modulation, turning your speech into music. We built calm strength through the broken record technique, standing firm without anger. We brought in humor, the light that melts walls and builds bonds. And finally, we embraced vulnerability, the courage to be real, the ultimate strength of a true communicator. But here's the most important thing. All these tips, all these tools, all this knowledge will mean nothing unless you practice them. Communication is not learned in theory. It is learned in the fire of daily life. So from today, don't just listen, live it. When you walk into a room, walk tall. When you speak, tell stories. When you listen, give your heart. When you say someone's name, mean it. When you face conflict, breathe and respond. When someone shares with you, echo their feelings. When you talk, use your voice like music. When people push you, stand calm like a rock. When the world is heavy, add humor and lightness. And above all, when you share yourself, be real, be vulnerable, be human. Because the world does not need more perfect speakers. The world needs authentic communicators. You don't need to be flawless to inspire. You don't need to be brilliant to be respected. You don't need to be rich or famous to be unforgettable. You just need to be present, real, and willing to connect. So go out there, speak with clarity, speak with confidence, speak with courage, and most importantly, speak with your heart. And when you do, You will not only change how people see you, you will change how they feel when they are with you. That, my friend, is true power. Thank you.